Hey, welcome everyone. It is Bernadette here, and I'm delighted to invite you to this special Facebook Live where we're talking about something that I don't think gets talked about enough when it comes to working with clients in terms of the impact it can have on you and your business. And we want to talk today about how to ensure your clients get results when working with you. Now, it may sound obvious why you should need to pay attention to this. If you are offering any type of change, whether you're a coach or a consultant or a trainer or a therapist, then you do what you do because you want to make a difference. And there's no doubt that if you're in this type of business, I'm sure you're very committed to your clients getting results. But it's really important to explore why it's so important and how this came about, this conversation we're having today with one of my clients, Rebecca Shaw, who I'll properly introduce you to in just a moment. How this came about was I was doing a masterclass for our Plan B program. And in it, I was talking about some of the things that I've noticed create fears for people when selling. And one of the things that I put up was a fear that you might enroll a client, but once you've got the client, what if you can't deliver? What if, they end up disappointed or you have to refund them or for whatever reason, your transformational process doesn't work for them. And I think that this is a big sticking point for many people when it comes to selling their services. And I've also experienced and witnessed what can go wrong if you work with a client and they don't get results. Like, first of all, you might have someone who then is saying, well, I'm not happy. I want a refund. But I think even beyond that, it's the damage that can happen to you as the coach or consultant, where you maybe then start to have doubts about your process. And the one thing we know from making sales is that people buy certainty. And so it's really important that your confidence around the value of what you're delivering is sky high. So I've been very interested in this, and it's been in the back of my mind, and I've wanted to do something for a while to share how in my business, how we've set things up to make our clients' success inevitable. But then as things can happen, someone entered my world who I realized had already figured this out in her own situation. And so I want to introduce you today to one of my Plan B clients. She's also now a fast track client as well. She's been having tremendous success in those programs, but that's not why we're here today to talk about that. We want to talk about one of her superpowers, which is really, how she figured out a way to get amazing results for her clients as a hypnotherapist. So welcome, Rebecca.
Thanks, Bernadette. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Is there anything I should have said by way of introduction that I missed?
No, just maybe a little bit about my background. I am a clinical hypnotherapist and a personal development coach. Mindset coach. I've been doing it for so long. I was coaching before coaching was a thing, actually. And so I own Charleston Hypnosis Center in Charleston, South Carolina. And I'm also the founder of the American Hypnosis and Coaching Academy. So I know a lot about mindset and quite a bit about tools and strategies that help your clients get success.
Yeah. I know we're going to talk about mindset today because this is one of the things that that really baffled me when I first started out, and I've been helping people to get new clients since I can't remember when. It's like over 20 years that that was before I was online. But one of the things that caught me out as a young coach was that I would give people a strategy and ask them to go execute it, and then they'd hit all sorts of roadblocks and obstacles. Like, it just wasn't straightforward for them to execute what I was asking them to do. Did you have that when you started working with clients?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of your biggest fears when you're having someone come for hypnosis is they come back and they say it didn't work, and then right away, someone who hasn't had a lot of experience, all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I'm a fake. I'm not good at this. What am I going to do? What if they want their money back? It can immediately turn to lack of self-confidence, self-criticism, and even really make you hesitant to put yourself out there and promote yourself more if you find that people aren't getting results. So
yeah, I really relate to that, especially, you know, with helping people with marketing and selling. You know, marketing and selling 101 is be really clear about the result you deliver, the problem you solve, and articulate that. And I've definitely had people say to me, well, I don't know that I can say that with certainty, Bernadette, because, you know, what I do, it hasn't worked for everyone. And so it's like they've worked with some clients, but then their confidence has been dented a bit, maybe because they had an experience where a client didn't get results. And, you know, today we could go in all sorts of directions with this. Like we could talk about contracts and boundaries and things like that, and managing client expectations. But that's not the point of our conversation. What I think is fascinating about you is I remember when we first connected, you shared that you've got one of your programs is to help people stop smoking. And you've got like a really bold guarantee on that because you know that it just works. Anyone that sits in front of you that has a desire to give up cigarettes, you'll do it with them.
Yeah, it's this is one of the things that I love so much about hypnosis. And even you know, I'm offering a training coming up to become certified in clinical hypnosis, and that's a huge game changer for coaches because in the coaching world, people, you can give them, you know, training, you can tell them mindset, but it's when you add hypnosis, it's what I call whole brain problem solving. So you're going to help your client. You can tell them what to do, but if they hit those roadblocks where they're sabotaging themselves, where they lack the confidence that could go back to other things in their lives, you can give them the tools to overcome those points when they say it didn't work. And that's really huge because then you can step into this level of certainty that you can help someone. And really that's what I love about hypnosis. I feel like no matter what someone brings to me as a fear, a resistance, a like it didn't work, I have created what I call the results activator process, where I can show you, help them to completely overcome that. And when you know as a coach that you can meet any resistance, any little piece where they say, hey, what you told me isn't working, like for, you know, then you can sell that program with certainty. And I think that's why I was able to take your work in Plan B and fast track and really just, no pun intended, fast track, run with it, is because I knew that once I sold the person on the program, that I was 100% sure that I can help them get where they want to go. And that is hands down comes from having the hypnotherapy in my toolbox as a coach.
Okay. So let's back you. I mean, you've jumped ahead a bit there. So let's back up a bit. I'd really like to hear more about how you, as someone helping people make changes, how did you uncover the missing piece? Because you told me that you did once have a client sitting in front of you and you're like, I don't know how I'm going to help this person.
Yeah. So I think the first step was a mindset that I didn't default into, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with me. I'm inept. I haven't provided them with the proper tools or information or whatever. Instead, my first step is to go into this place of curiosity with clients, is to get curious, like, you know, what's going on here. And then from that place, I was able to develop a series of tools, strategies that combine hypnosis and coaching to work people through what I call resistance. So resistance is those counter mindsets that are hidden in your subconscious mind that work against what you consciously want. So for example, if someone wants to be more successful, they want to make 6 figures, but they come to you and they say it's not working, I've been able to figure out what is really going on here. Is it they haven't been given the proper strategy Typically not. If they're working with a seasoned coach, it's typically there's something going on at the mindset level that's working against what they consciously want. And when you get the conscious mind and the subconscious mind in harmony, going in the same direction, clearing what I call any boulders in the road, then you really, the sky's the limit with what you can help people with.
So I was in a group yesterday where there was an interesting discussion going on about sabotage, and one of the author of the post was saying, "Well, I'm just getting really curious about this. It's like why do we say we want certain goals, and yet then we get in our own way? Like we won't take the necessary action, or we'll do the opposite of the action that we plan to take." And so she was going down a route of sabotage. So would you say resistance and sabotage, are they the same? Are they one and the same thing, or are they different?
I would say sabotage is under the umbrella of resistance. So someone could be having resistance because they're afraid. They're not necessarily sabotaging themselves, but they have fear, or they just lack confidence. But sabotage could be there, and that would be what what the strategies are designed to really pinpoint. Is it sabotage? Is it fear? Is it lack of confidence? Is it all of the above? And then guiding the client to get very, very clear on what that is, so then you can help them to overcome it.
Okay. So under the umbrella of resistance, you've got fear, you've got sabotage, you've got lack of confidence. Is there anything else that sits under that umbrella?
I would say that pretty much covers it, that I can think of. Yeah.
That's helpful in itself, I think, for people watching this that are working with clients, that if they've got a client who is, in some type of resistance, even just to know, okay, this is what I need to be tracking for. Is it fear? Is it lack of confidence? Is it some type of sabotage?
Yeah. I'd say, yeah. The one other thing that would come to mind is, well, I guess it would be fear, like, smokers or, people who want to lose weight. It's like they fear they're going to lose something pleasurable. So it still falls under the category of fear, but loss of something that they enjoy.
So tell me about how you figured out that you had this superpower, because anybody that's working with clients and wants to help people make changes has almost certainly had the experience of like, well, I've told them what to do, but they're not following my instructions. Right. Or they've had the experience of a client, let's say, not taking action, or a client just not following through. And it can be frustrating. It can just be really frustrating. Why can't they get it? But or why can't they just do it? But it also could create a lack of confidence in a coach, because they can then take on responsibility for that. And they're like, I'm not a good coach. There's something wrong with me. What am I doing wrong?
Well, I think the first thing that comes to mind when you say that is, as a coach, you may be able to coach someone into an awareness that, yes, they are sabotaging themselves, or they do have the fear, or they do have the lack of confidence. But that awareness only, to me, gets them halfway across the bridge sometimes to solving the problem. And so with hypnosis, you are able to, one, interestingly, identify hidden obstacles to the problem. So you might say, okay, I consciously know that this is the problem, that I don't have enough confidence. You might not realize that you're sabotaging yourself because there's this fear, if I go to the next level in my business, that I'll be tired all the time, that I'll give away all my free time, or something like that.
Yeah.
So what I love about hypnosis is oftentimes people are just blown away about this little piece of the problem that they were completely unaware of. And then, even more powerfully, with hypnosis, giving them a concrete tool to shift that belief, or clear that fear, or up level their confidence. Because you can sit here all day long sometimes and just do affirmations, but that doesn't necessarily get you there, where you're really embodying that new mindset you need, or the better mindset you need to perform and sell your work confidently.
The piece that's really struck me about what you've just said is the comment that awareness will only get you halfway across the bridge. Because I observe a lot of people, and sometimes people ask me these questions, which are questions around, well, why is it so hard for me to be visible? Why do I get so scared at the thought of going live on Facebook? Why is it so hard for me to set a price? Why is it so hard for me to put my offer out there? Like, these are just some of the things that I've seen that can get in the way when people are, you know, getting into marketing themselves, with selling themselves, with enrolling clients, and they're asking questions as though the awareness, just knowing why, will somehow make the problem disappear. But you're very explicit that awareness in itself won't solve the problem. What else do people need then, apart from awareness?
Yeah, and it's that's where it gets kind of sad if people don't do anything about it, because they just feel resigned to it. Like, this is the way I am. You know, there's not as much focus on evolving yourself to become the type of person you want to be able to get, you know, all the way across the bridge. So, to me, then the hypnosis helps you with clearing those blocks, the mental blocks, the limiting mindset, upgrading your software, and really stepping into an identity. It's really identity work. Like, who do I need to become? How do I need to think? How do I need to show up to confidently raise my prices? So I'm not underselling or overworked or overgiving, and really know that I can get people the results they want. And when, you know, honestly, I'm just going to say this flat out, it's that there is no one that walks into my office with the strategies that I use that I feel like I can't help unless they don't want to be helped, unless they don't want to do the work, don't want to avail themselves of the strategies. But even then, it's like, then if they come back and they say it didn't work, and I'll be like, okay, it's probably, you know, I don't tell them this per se, maybe, but it's not that the strategy didn't work. It's that there's this other little piece of resistance there. So let's explore that. Let's get curious about why you didn't listen to your hypnosis recording, or, you know, why you didn't take these actions that you were given. Like, you're very explicit. If you take these steps, if you do these steps, it will work. So then when people aren't taking those steps, they can make excuses or whatever. But if they really look at themselves, it's like there's something else at play here. Let's figure it out what it is, because it's all mapped out. If you do it, it will happen. It works, but lovingly, you know, not criticizing yourself.
Yeah, I there's definitely something in that, because I'm very explicit in my programs now. You know, these are the steps, and if you do these steps, your success will be inevitable. I have absolute certainty about that, because it's road tested. And how I got to that point was when I was getting frustrated because I had clients that weren't getting results, I asked myself the question, how do I need to set this up to make their success inevitable? So, as you know, I'm really big on strategy. But even with laying out a strategy like that, I've still observed that there are some clients that find it hard to implement the strategy, that they're getting in their own way, or they have thoughts about it, or, you know, sometimes it manifests in different ways, but they clearly need more than just a good strategy to get results. And this is why I'm so fascinated with what you do, and what you've created to help people like me and coaches to really make sure that our clients are getting awesome results. So tell us more about your secret sauce.
So one thing is, I would sit down with you, or, you know, what I do is I sit down with the coaches. So I offer like a free 30-minute discovery session, and we're going to look at your program and are you confident with your offering? And if you're not, if you're seeing mixed results, then the way that I do my certification in clinical hypnosis is we're going to, it's not just boilerplate where you're just going to learn about smoking or, hypnobirthing or pain alleviation. I sit down with you and I say, okay, where do you feel like I just had a student sign up and she's a coach and she works with entrepreneur moms. And so I had her make a list of all the areas where she has pain, her clients have pain points, and where she feels like she's falling short of being able to help them. One example would be like procrastination. So again, she's giving them tools and strategies as entrepreneurial moms, and then they're not, for whatever reason, they're not being successful, one being procrastination. So I'm going to work with her to create or craft a signature process where she's going to move her clients through procrastination, past procrastination. So that would be one. Overwhelm would be another, maybe overthinking, not being able to sleep at night, whatever it is. And then the secret sauce is me helping her. First, she'll learn the core foundational elements of hypnosis. For sure, you got to learn those, but then how to take it, because hypnosis is so infinitely applicable, and it's an art. There's an intuitiveness to it. There's a whole coaching process that I teach. So, once you learn the technique of this special type of listening that I teach you, your people, they tell you, they don't even know they're telling you, but they tell you like where they need to go and to identify what those hidden blocks are. And then we'll use hypnosis. So it's really so amazing, because we're going to take her. So then what's going to happen for her is she's going to feel so much more confident to sell her services, because she knows how to identify and address her coaching clients' sticking points.
So we back up a couple of steps then. Mm-hmm. If any coach or consultant or trainer or anybody that is helping someone get results watching this, probably has a process. So they have a client who starts out at point A and they help that client get to point B. So that point A could be 20 pounds overweight and point B is I'm at my ideal weight. Or point A could be overwhelmed, stressed out mummy to calm mummy, now more present with her children and feeling more at peace in her home. So we'd use those examples. Now that's step one, guys. Like if you haven't mapped out all the steps that a person needs to go through to get from point A to point B, that's the first thing you need to do. But then it sounds as though where you come in, Rebecca, is when someone has that process, that if they have clients going through that process who are then meeting, as you say, boulders in the road, what you're great at adding into that process or layering into that process is like how they can navigate those boulders.
Yeah, exactly. So I do have some new people coming in that are just starting into coaching, and I'll help them create their signature program, maybe like, the layout, sort of, I call it the protocol, like, okay, what would you do with someone step one, and I'll kind of coach them through it. I won't tell them, they may do nutritional coaching, which isn't my expertise, but that would be a session, and then, but yes, if they're like, okay, I've been coaching this client and they're not following, they're not following the steps, or they fell off the wagon, or they tell me this is too hard, or whatever it is, I'm going to give them it could be a hypnosis technique, a guided meditation. It could be a technique to identify those hidden points of resistance, the limiting mindsets or beliefs, whatever it is that is causing their client to not have that forward momentum. Does that make sense? Or did I? Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds great. What in the people that you've already shared this with, what's happened to their businesses or their coaching practices once they've added in this new technology, we'll call it, for want of a better word?
Yeah, so they are, so I have like Michael Givens, he's an acting coach, and he's now taking the hypnosis techniques to take people into these deeper meditative states where they're really stepping into the persona of this character that they need to audition for. And the experiential aspect of the hypnosis is just amazing. I have a guy who is a peak performance coach with sports athletes, and he's working with focus and concentration techniques that he's learned through my training course. Confidence is a huge one, taking them through. And it's one thing to just tell yourself you're confident, but to do it, to listen to those custom suggestions. That's the other thing, is he can make custom recordings for people, which is so far better than anything you're going to find on YouTube. Your subconscious mind responds best to your words, your phrases. You know, I might say confidence, you might say self-esteem, for example, whatever it is. So he's able to give people these high value custom recordings, which right away, to me, you can raise your prices.
Yeah.
You're giving them a tool like that they're going to listen to every night, that they could listen to forever and have in their arsenal. Right away, that's a high value product, custom product you're giving people. But then I have one of my.
Let's ask about that, because that does sound awesome, to give someone something to be, when at the moment you say this is your custom path to getting the results you want, and it really is customized right down to the point that you're going to have a unique recording just for you.
Yeah.
How is that time consuming for a coach to add in? Because that sounds time consuming to me.
So what I do is I'll do, if I'm going to do something like that, it's a 90-minute session. So I do a hypnosis / coaching, or actually it doesn't even really need to be 90 minutes. I just space my sessions 90 minutes apart. So I have, 10 minutes in between. But the first 30 minutes would be coaching, asking them what's going on, what do you, and then the rest of the time would either be doing an exploratory type of hypnotic, taking someone into a meditative state and identifying what that block is. They'll come up with something totally different than an hour ago if you had asked them sitting with a cup of coffee. Your conscious mind, what it thinks the problem is and what your subconscious thinks the problem is, it's the two together that are what I call the whole brain problem solving. And then the hypnosis, the custom hypnosis recording, is part of the results activator. Okay, great, I had this aha, and this is how I want to think, and I was thinking like this before, but how are you going to get that to stick? How are you going to get that to be an automatic way of feeling for that person? And that's where the custom recording comes in. And so then I teach you how to give a program to your client using that custom recording. People just love it. They love it. It's easy. So there's that. And it doesn't even without the custom recording. So one of my clients, she's a business coach. And so what she's doing is when she does group programs, and she'll teach something. So let's say she teaches something about procrastination. She'll do a talk or, a lecture. Then she has Q&A. And then what she'll do is get off that call, take people's, feedback and concerns and little sticking points. And she makes a custom recording for her group.
Wow.
She said it has been she calls it the training that she's done with me and what she's been able to do with it, a high performance tool. And I've actually gotten 2 of my students this time around from hers because they are so blown away. And these are seasoned coaches. They're so blown away by their shifts that they're having from her group custom recordings that she's layering in as a catalyst, really, to help them move forward. That they're like, oh my God, I got to do this for my clients.
It sounds fabulous. You're already giving me loads of ideas. I want to talk more with you about like how we could be adding this into our own programs, because it does sound. I can really I really get the difference that this could make. For anyone who's watching this and this is resonating and they're like, I'd like to explore more how I could be adding this either into the one-to-one coaching or to group coaching to, really give their programs the edge and really help their clients get better results, what is their next step? What should they do now?
So they can, if they're on Facebook, they can direct message me, Rebecca Shaw, I'm in your group. So they can just look in the members list and see me there. My coaching page is Rebecca Taylor Shaw, coach, hypnotherapist, trainer, or they can go to the American Hypnosis and Coaching Academy.com, American Hypnosis Coaching Academy.com, and go to the Get Info page and, put their email in. If it's easier, RebeccaTaylorShaw.com. There's a link to my training there too.
Okay. That's been great. Thank you so much for you sharing your time, your expertise today. I think you've given a lot of value, and definitely anybody that has ever felt any kind of wobble or uncertainty about their ability to really ensure their client gets results, you really have shown what, something that they can do and add into their process to really make their client success inevitable, which, as you know, is something that I'm all about. So we'll have to get you back again to share more of your wisdom. Thank you so much for your time today, Rebecca.
Thank you, Bernadette.
Take care.